Hi, I'm Darryn Farrugia and welcome. In last week's video I talked about taking the single stroke roll from the pad and applying it to the snare drum. So we're going to do the same thing this week, but we're going to look at applying it to the kit, and more specifically using what's known as oblique motion. Oblique motion is when one limb is moving around the kit and the other limb remains at one surface. So what you saw me play at the start of this video was oblique motion. So I was playing singles, my left hand was pretty much just staying on the snare drum while the right hand moved between the snare drum and the two toms. So that's called oblique motion. Typically for me, when I've played oblique motion type patterns, I've always used stickings that weren't single stroke rolls. So for example, a paradiddle diddle would be right, left, 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 and I would put the right hand accent on the drums this way. So that's oblique motion using a paradiddle diddle. So in today's video I'm going to do the same thing, but instead I'm going to use single stroke rolls. As I said in last week's video, none of us are planning to be professional practice pad players, so the stuff that we learn on the pad really needs to have a purpose on the drum set. So that's what this is about again today. There are three patterns that we're going to practice. Let me explain. The first pattern is a bar of 4/4. We're going to play an accent on beat 1 on this tom here, and then on beat 3 we're going to play an accent on the floor tom. The rest of the notes, the non-accents, will be played on the snare drum. So let me just play that for you slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the first pattern. Let me just take that up in tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now these patterns are pretty new to me. As I said, I've only ever used other stickings for this type of thing. So this has been a bit of a work in progress as well. And one thing I will say is that when I took the tempos up, it became a little uneven. So what I did was I played one hand at a time and discovered that the unevenness, or the lack of evenness, actually came from the right hand, because that's actually doing the most movement. So let me just isolate the right hand to show you what that's doing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's the same thing, a little brighter. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now it's important to note the movement that I'm using when I go from the floor tom back to the snare drum. I'm trying to keep that movement as economical as I can, so it's really just this movement, as opposed to this movement. So that's an important thing to keep in mind. So then what I do is play 2 bars of time and then that pattern for 2 bars. So essentially just trading twos. And I'm going to use a swing beat for this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Once that feels comfortable, then I would suggest practicing trading 4. So 4 bars of time and then 4 bars of that pattern. Something like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. The next pattern's in 3/4, and I'll play that for you. I'll count in a bar of 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it's essentially the same concept, but I've just reduced the space between the tom hits. So again, I'm just going to isolate the right hand, get that even first. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then the next thing I'll do is play that across 2 bars of 4/4. So I'm going to play 2 bars of time and then that pattern across 2 bars of 4/4. That'll sound like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's the same thing a little faster. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, you can trade 4s with this, so I'm going to play 4 bars of time in 4/4, and then I'm going to take that 3/4 pattern and play that across 4 bars of 4/4. That'll sound like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. The final pattern is a shorter one. That's a tom hit on each downbeat. That will sound like this. I'll play this for you slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the right hand's going to be pretty busy in this pattern. Let me just isolate the right hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now here's that idea, trading 2s. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then, as with all the other patterns, we'll trade 4s. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. The next step beyond that is to be able to mix all these patterns up within a 2 or 4 bar phrase, and that's what you heard me playing at the start. I was just taking a 4 bar phrase and mixing those patterns within that 4 bars. So I'll give you a couple of slower examples first, and then I might take the tempo up. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So they're the 3 patterns that I've been working on the last couple of weeks, and as I said, it's still a bit of a work in progress for me, but I feel that it's really important to be able to challenge myself and play those patterns in a way that I don't normally play them, as I said, you know, using single strokes instead of paradiddle type stickings. Now, if you want a copy of the PDF that accompanies this video, I'll leave a link to that in the description below. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe. And remember to hit that notification bell so that you know when I've uploaded a video, which is every week. So until next week, have a great week and happy practice, and I shall see you soon. Bye. Oscar. Oscar. And that was terrible.